hope not. I hope not. Okay, because these are what we have been doing most of the time. It's the only thing that nobody bring this up into the observable dimension. Okay, let's move on. Number 5. Okay, number 5, law of expectation. In I Ching, it's called 八月有凶. Okay, 八月有凶. Now, why is it so odd good name? 八月有凶, I will explain later on. But because of 八月有凶, that's why we can have the law of expectation. Now, if I were to throw out an advertisement, Helen say why 8 months? It comes from I Ching, one of the hexagram. Or 地则灵. Okay, I'll talk about that later on if I have a time. 地则灵. Now, if let's say I will throw out this kind of advertisement, say that, hey, anybody interested, 5 feng shui tips that can fix bad luck with money. Are you keen? Are you keen? Sure work one. What do you think? How do you feel? Are you keen? If I were to tell you I have this book, you want not? 5 feng shui tips that can fix bad luck with money. Nobody seems keen. Okay, so y'all are smarter now. Okay, so for those who are keen, Alan say will want to get also. Oh, okay. So although you have already tasted one of the surprise just now, Alan say you still want to get also. Okay. Now, Alan, let me ask you, why do you still want to get this book or this information? Why? And same for the rest of you. In case you don't want the answer, but you know deep inside you, if there is, you want also. Now my question to you is, why do you still want to have it? Okay, Alan said to know it, use or not depends on our choice. Okay, now why do you want to know it? Why do you want to know it? So I'm trying to get to your intention behind this choice, say that you still want to get it. Alan said, greed, always good to have some more money. Okay, so Alan said, okay, yeah, so Alan said greed and to have some more money. Okay, how about the rest? Alan said curious and act greed of knowledge. Very good, very good. So I'm playing on something in you, if you haven't noticed yet. Okay, I'm playing something. I'm playing with a variable in you. Okay, and that variable is called expectation. Expectation. Okay, Helen said 钱. Okay, good. I'm playing with your expectation. And this word expectation, every one of us have. When you buy a TV, when you're willing to spend $5,000 on a TV, what are you expecting out from that TV? You get my point? Okay, when you spend a few $100s to attend my lessons, what are you expecting out from today's lesson? When when you make a choice, what are you expecting out of that thing? This is called the law of expectation. Law of expectation. And a lot of time, master persuader are doing future pacing. Okay, future pacing a lot of time. And when they pace almost at the right time, they will play in with your expectation. When people do future pacing, they are playing with your expectation. Remember this. In case you all don't know what is future pacing, a lot of businessmen do future pacing. A lot of coaches do future pacing. A lot of masters do future pacing. I give you an example of future pacing. Let's talk about feng shui master. Thank you, Helen. I'll explain what is future pacing. Let's talk about feng shui master. Okay, a typical feng shui master. Now, when you engage a feng shui master to come in to audit your house, finish already, then they will do recommendation here and there. Okay, and then the feng shui master, before leaving your house, say, okay, done already. I recommend everything to you, all your remedies. But next year before February, must adjust again. Because just now I saw something. Next year February, if you don't adjust something, something might happen. Now, what am I doing? When I say that, what's my intention? Anybody? Helen say expect client to contact for new year feng shui audit. Okay. Helen say next year call again. Thank you. Helen say recurrent business. Yes. Am I not doing future pacing? That means I'm doing a pacing with you, but I put it the expectation into the future. Okay. I put the expectation in the future and I call it future pacing. All right. To say that okay, everything is good for now. Thank you for your business. But next year, February, please remember to call me back. Okay, I'm not forcing you to call me back, but please remember to call me back, or else anything that's going to happen in February, you don't blame me. Okay, so having said that, with that kind of expectation built into you, I think 90% of the client will want to call me back. This is called future pacing. You get my point? Okay, yeah. So I'm playing around with your expectations. Same with this advertisement here. 5 feng shui tips that can fix bad luck with money. When you want to get this, I'm sure in some way in your heart or in your mind, you're expecting that maybe these tips, when you do it, it can really bring in some money or it can really solve your bad luck with money. You know, you have that kind of expectation. And okay, anyone who has high expectation of certain things, the urge to get it is very huge. Okay, it's very huge, the urge. And can, if I'm the persuader and I can bring in with another law to give you the nudge, for example, the law of scarcity to give you the nudge, you will fall for it almost immediately. Okay, so for example, you love to attend this class, and then I say that, hey, if you love to attend this class, because after that you can become a master persuader, you can persuade everyone, and then you can make more sales. Then I say, okay, then come lah, I give you 10% if you sign up today. So this is called scarcity. Okay, so I use two law to come in together. All right, so the second law is actually to give you the nudge. Okay, nudge means I give you a little slight push. You are in already. You're persuaded to sign up for my course. Okay. All right. Let's look at another scenario. I think I saw this happen before at one of the tuition center. So I'm not sure anybody of you has this experience before lah. So this tuition center talked to one of the mother called Mrs. Lim, not their real name lah. Okay, so Mrs. Lim, you probably realize that your son is highly intellectual. Okay, so mother say, yes, you also think so? Okay, then the tuition teacher follow up to say that, of course I do. And I'll strongly encourage you to sign him up for our advanced PSLE preparatory program so that we could groom him further. Wow. Shortly after, Mrs. Lim paid 6K for the tuition fee. Wow, not cheap leh. Anybody has this experience before or seen somebody in this situation before? What is this law? Anybody can recall what is this law again? Law of. Okay, this is law of expectation. The tuition teacher is building up the expectation of the mother on his son. Okay, in the sense that, intellectual, okay, your son. And if you join our program, wow, we can groom him even further. Expectation. So shortly after, Mrs. Lim put out the credit card, pay 6K for the tuition fee. Now, back to this hexagram. Where is it inspired from? It is inspired from 地则灵. Now, 地则灵, there is a phrase in the 易经易传 there. It says that, 八月有凶. 八月有凶 is one of the sub-phrase in the entire phrase lah. But what it means that 八月有凶 means 地则灵 is actually about approaching. Okay, the energy is about approaching. For example, your boss going down to the factory floor to pay visit to the factory operator. This is called 地则灵. Okay, or the MP during the election time walk the ground, knock on all the doors, say hello, or visit the market to say hello to the hawkers or to the market seller. These are called 地者灵. Now, walking the ground is not just purely walking the ground according to this hexagram 地者灵. It means after you walk the ground, what is next? Now, when MP come to your door, knock the door, and ask you any feedback, how is things, whatever, and then you give your feedback to this MP, house visit, thank you, Helen. What comes next in your mind? After you've given your best feedback to this MP, what comes next in your mind? Election, okay, next. Any expectation after giving your feedback? You say that, hey, my outside corridor, like nobody come and sweep one for 1 week already, the leaves still there, like that. Okay, so Helen says, you expect MP to act on it, right? Am I right to say that? Since you are willing to give your feedback, you are expecting the MPs to act on your feedback. So this is expectation. That's why 八月有凶, it means that if you walk the ground, and when the ground give you feedback, okay, the ground is expecting you to act on it. And typically, based on I Ching, in 8 months' time, if nothing comes out from your visit, then it becomes 凶. So that's why it's called 八月有凶. Okay, this 八月 is just a lingo thing lah. So it's not exactly 8 months lah. It could be 8 weeks, could be 8 days, could be 8 years, depending on what is the subject matter about. So if it's the MP feedback, then I'll expect within 8 hours or 8 days, okay, and not 8 months and not 8 weeks. You get my point? That the MP going to act on it. All right, so it depends. So 八月有时候 is just a lingo thing. Okay, so expectation comes from here. As long as you walk the ground, you are expected to deliver certain things. So what we want to do here using this law of expectation is to create expectation from the offer that you're giving to the customer. Okay, next. We aim to meet, if not exceed, others' expectation of us, especially if we stand to gain benefits. Okay, so why do you think I want to give feedback to the MP? It's because I'm expecting him to meet this expectation, to do something about my feedback. Okay, so I'm expecting certain things. So in order to persuade, there is certain power phrases that you can use using this law of expectation, like the tuition teacher like that. So for example, the underline one, those words are the underline one. You probably already know that this is the best deal you can ever find. Okay, so you probably already know. That means I forcefully built in this expectation in you. Say that, hey, you by right, you should already know. Okay, you probably already know that this is the best deal you can ever find. This is number one. Number two, you probably realize that this is the best deal you can ever find. Okay, so this is law of expectation, and you can actually use this kind of power phrase in your conversation or in your written text. Now, have you any personal experience or any recent incidents that you can recall that can relate to this power or the law of expectation? No? You see, boss like to use this kind of phrases. You already know. You already know. Okay? You already know this could happen. Why do you still make that kind of decision? Something like that. So make you paiseh lah. Make you guilty. Okay, next. Law number 6. Law of association. Okay, in Chinese called 随顺时事. Now it comes from the hexagram 泽雷随 follow. Okay, we tend to like products, services, or ideas that are endorsed by other people we like or respect. I think this is common sense. This is human nature. So, for example, if you respect a celebrity, okay, you love this celebrity a lot. Even the drink that they drink, you also want to buy. Okay, I remember back then, a few years back, there was an endorsement by, is it BTS or EXO on Coke? Coca-Cola, and then that design, that batch of Coca-Cola fully sold out. Okay, so this is how powerful people get persuaded using the law of association. That means they want to be seen to associate with someone that they respect. This is pretty different from law of friends. Okay, law of friends is because it's friend, they want you to enjoy what they enjoy. This is law of friends. But this law of association is you want to be seen as though you are associated with that someone that you respect fully. Okay, so it's slightly different. This is, don't be confused with law of friends. Okay, so here, what it says here, a mental triggers and anchors that will generate the right feelings, thoughts, emotions to create a persuasive environment. Meaning, 则雷随. Okay, one of the most seen technique that rely on the law of association is called the endorsement technique. I think I mentioned just now already. Past slide. This one. Is that okay? Isn't this in the slide? In the workbook? Okay, endorsement technique is the most widely used, relying on the law of association. Now, what is endorsement technique? If we like the people connected with a product, we tend to have positive association in our mind of the product they endorse. Okay, and regardless of product quality, and this really regardless of product quality, whether it's good or bad, because of that endorsement, we often will buy a product the first time based on celebrity endorsement. So for the first time, you likely want to buy what that celebrity endorses. Okay, the second time round is another story, because your experiences with the product will come in ready to determine your second purchase. Okay, but your first purchase usually is being influenced by this law of association. So, for example, in 2020, when Trump keeps saying that this chloroquine is a COVID-19 cure, all right? Then one citizen in US actually use it, consume this chloroquine, swallow a version of the chemical used in the fish tank, and died. See, I'm amazed how this man could be persuaded to do something like this. This shows the power of the law of association. That means he must have respected this Trump. Whatever he say must be correct. Okay, and then he will follow. Of course, back then he was also the former president of US. There could be some element of the law of power. What he say must be correct. You get my point? So with this and the law of association, 天衣无缝 very powerful law of persuasion. Okay, so this is one example. If you can find any other example that come to your mind, please share with the class. I'll show you some more examples. Endorsement technique. So again, government go all out to go and persuade people to do vaccination. So one way is to invite PCK to do an ad to persuade senior citizen to go for vaccination. Okay, so this is another example, which is local. Question so far. Can anyone name one example so far that you can relate to? Helen say M Dada Life Sale. Oh, what is M Dada? Something new to me. Is it a brand? What with M Dada Life Sales? Helen, could you elaborate? I don't know what's M Dada. Or is it pronounced as M Dada? I'm not too sure. Okay, now, and everyone can follow me up to now. Type okay in the chat box. Pongsat Life Sales. Oh, okay. So Pongsat is the 代言人, is it? Is the endorser, is it? Yeah, like especially those beauty, whatever one. Oh, thank you for the link. I'll take a look later on. What, 3 million in sales in 2 months on Facebook. Whoa. Can you see the power of law of association? Thank you, Helen, for sharing this link. I'll take a look later. But I can saw the the what do you call it? The wordings there. M Dada had 3 million in sales. Very powerful. Okay, so everyone okay so far? Type okay in the chat box if you're okay. Thank you, Alan. Can follow? Okay, good, Helen. Okay, let's move on to the next law. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you, Fiona. Now, can I ask you this two question? Okay, this is we are moving on already. But before I move on, let me ask you two questions. Number one, do you believe that it is extremely important to learn persuasion so you know what to say to get what you want, even in life toughest situation? Yes or no? Type in the chat box. I repeat, do you believe that it is extremely important to know persuasion so you know what to say to get what you want, even in life toughest situations? Okay, so Ellen say yes, Helen say yes. Okay, good. Thank you. The rest, I'm not too sure. Okay, Fiona say yes, thank you. Helen say may not get what we want, but comfortable to voice out confidently. Okay, thank you very much. Now, next question two. If there is a live script, that means a script, okay, that could tell you exactly what to say during a persuasion process to get what you want, even in life's toughest situation, would you want it? I have this script only for the first 10 who say me. Helen say why not? Okay, so Helen, first one to say you want it. Helen's now Helen smart already. Ask me whether am I scamming you all again. What do you think? It's for you to think. Okay, you every day, day in, day out, 24 hours, you'll be exposed to this kind of messages. You must know how to read behind the scene and say that this is scam. This is not scam. This is scam. That kind of things. Remember this. Everybody, every day, they are trying to persuade you because everyone is in the business of selling. Andrew, smart already. Show us a sample of it. Okay, very good. All right. So my take is that if I don't scam you earlier on, okay, if I didn't scam you earlier on, sorry if I use the word scam, okay, I'm sure when I come to this slide, I'm sure most of you who say that you all want it. This is a scam. I don't have a script like this. Okay, but we can work on it. We can work on it. Bring the unobservable into the observable. Bring the invisible into the visible dimension. I'm sure we can do it if we want to do it. Yeah. But right now, I don't have the script. Now, what I'm trying to do here is that I'm using another law to persuade you to get the script. Okay. So, this law is called the law of consistency. Now, you all may not see the relationship between some of the two questions and this law, but I'm going to explain. Law of consistency, Chinese called 恒星有成. Heng means consistent. Okay, it comes from this histogram called 雷锋恒. Now, what it says here, when an individual commits to a position on any issue or point of view, he will tend to strongly defend that belief, regardless of its accuracy, even in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary. I repeat, when an individual commits to a position on any issue or point of view, he will tend to strongly defend that belief, regardless of its accuracy, even in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Now, what it says here is that if you have a kind of belief system and you believe certain thing is the truth, no matter what other people say that it is false, you will still believe that it is true. Okay, so this is called the law of consistency. That means the moment you buy in into the point that this is true, you keep find all ways to tell yourself to be consistent in your belief. Right? This is called the law of consistency. So therefore, earlier on, if straight away I ask you this questions 2, instead of asking question 1 first, right? I ask you if there is a live script that could tell you exactly what to say during persuasion to get what you want. All right. You may not want it. Okay. You may not want it because you don't know where is it getting you to. Okay. So I did not simply ask you the second question first, which is what most salesperson do. So amateur salesperson do like go straight to the point, the direct approach one. Instead, I ask you the first question first. I say that I play around with your belief system. I want to see where is your biasness. You get my point? I ask you the first question is to see where is your biasness. So I ask you, do you believe it is extremely important to learn persuasion? So you know what to say to get what you want, even in a lifestyle situation. And you say yes, then I know where's your biasness already. That means you have this belief that it's very important to learn persuasion. Okay? And usually when I want to ask this kind of question to get a biasness, I usually want to tie it back. The best is to tie it back to a value that is of extreme importance. For example, a belief system. Okay, a belief system that is, your upbringing value, for example. I want to tie it back to that one. Okay, so when you agree that a certain thing has high value, so that means once I know your biasness already, I will put in an offer that meets this biasness. Okay, and then once you find the A correct, I agree that learning persuasion is important. And now that you have this live script and it's only available for the first 10 person, you are persuaded to get it. Okay. So what you agree, when you agree that a certain thing has high value, I just want to offer you what you value. That's about it. Alan said that is how cult grew. Thank you very much, Alan. Okay, thank you very much. This is how cult grew. Okay, and then when they grew to a certain size and position, then they have the law of power coming in. Okay. Now it is very hard to be inconsistent. To be fair, it is very hard to be inconsistent, especially if I tied it to your belief system or tie it to a certain value that you have since day one. Okay, so even when you are communicating with master persuader, you may have just met. So remember this: as long as you tie someone to tie to a value, it's very hard for them to remain inconsistent. Okay, they'll find ways to want to show that they are consistent with what they say earlier on. Example, I know this is pretty lame example, but I just want to give you a very quick example. Okay, so the wife say, honey, talking to the husband, does it make sense to own better quality sofa so we don't have to be constantly wasting money on replacing the cheaper one? So every time they were buying $100, $200 sofa, but because of it's cheap, the quality is very bad. So every 1-2 year got to change. All right. So every 1-2 year got to spend few $100. So the wife say, hey, why don't we, does it make sense to own better quality sofa? Okay. So the husband say, yes, makes sense. Buy one good one and then can last for many more years. So the wife, instead of asking, say, shall we go courts and buy a higher quality one? He tests the ground for the husband biasness. Okay, for husband biasness, and say that, hey, do you think it makes sense to own a higher quality sofa? And once the husband say yes, makes sense, then the wife can come in to say, okay, there's a year-end sales at court. Should we invest in some high quality furniture before the price goes up? So the wife also quite smart, comes in with a law of scarcity. Now there's a year-end sales at court. The price can go up anytime. Should we go and grab one high quality furniture while the price is still low? Okay, so this is one example where we bring in a bundle law. Okay, a bundle law. So, Helen, for your case about the staff A and staff B, you can also use this. You can explore, using this on staff A. Find something that the staff A can commit to be consistent. Right. So for example, saying that if staying on time with the event, is it important? No, for example, something like this. I don't know enough about your situation to advise, but I'm just saying out loud. Okay, so you tweak to your advantage to suit your situation. So once he's able to commit to certain consistency value, then you can bring in the next one, the offer, so-called the offer. Tired. Why are you tired? Okay, staff A don't believe. Yeah, so you test again because you know you are using he didn't believe there will be a crowd. So therefore, you cannot use something that tie to the crowd to convince him. It can't. You get my point? Okay, so you got to find something else to tie him so that he can be consistent with it. Okay, people tend to be consistent with past decisions commitments and past statements. Remember this. So these are the variables that you can play around. So if you want to find something that you can to tie them to be consistent with, it could be past decisions, commitments, statements. So judges in courts usually will want to stay consistent with the past cases, case law, or common law, things like that, or whatever statement that they have done before, judgment they've done before. They want to stay consistent. Okay, same with a lot of us. Okay, Helen says staff A known to be tough nut to crack. Okay. Okay, so it is important to get someone to commit to a belief before asking him to become involved in the implication of that belief. Is that okay? So remember this is always good to bring in step one, means make that person commit to a belief, a past decision or whatever. And then after that, step two is to bring in the offer. Okay, if not soon, staff B life will be difficult. Staff A only wants to win. Okay lah. So what left is law of power lor. Any good personal example to share? Anyone? If not, let me move on to the next law. Okay, a scenario here. A scenario. No time for law of power, then no choice lah. You have exhausted all the law. Okay. Scenario. Okay. Helen, pay attention to this. This law. Scenario. Amy and Jack invite you to their wedding dinner. Okay, the dinner is to be held at a very prestigious hotel ballroom. What will you usually do when you show up at the dinner? Type in the chat box. What will you typically do when you show up at the dinner? Anyone? Sign attendant, some more? Sign attendant, go in, sit down, eat, go home. Is that what you do? Give ampao. Give ampao. How much? Sensitive question, huh? Okay, then I don't ask, huh? Okay, so you give ampao. I think you will not just go inside, attendant, sit down, eat, go home. I don't think you will do that. Okay, somehow you will make giving ampao an important task to perform when you are there. Am I correct to say that? Giving ampao. Even though let's say you forget to give ampao, you will rush back to give ampao. Okay, so what makes you feel that giving ampao is a very important task to do? Besides signing attendance, besides sitting down and eat and say congratulations, what makes it an important task to say giving ampao must do one? Culture. Helen say culture. Some more. Helen say law of significance. Okay, some more. Occasion. Not so. Occasion. Because of that law, therefore, with this occasion, you are obliged to give ampao. Okay, Alan say trend and everyone do. Okay. So when everyone do, it means it's a law of what do you call that? Association, okay, or expectation. It could be law of expectation also. Law of consistency. After a while, when everyone do, it become a law of consistency. Yeah. Okay. So now, the law comes from this one, 三则损. Okay, 三则损 mean 因损得益. 因损得益. What it says here is when someone gives you something of perceived value, you immediately respond with the desire to give something back. This is called give and take. In short, this is called give and take. I repeat, when someone gives you something of perceived value, you immediately respond with the desire to give something back, which is human nature. Okay, give and take, 损 and 益, 损 and 益. Huh? So when your friends invite you to their wedding dinner at a very prestigious hotel ballroom, wow, you must give something back in return. Okay, something back of value in return, and your value in the ampao probably will correspond. It won't be a standard fee, right? It will correspond to where you will be invited to. Alan says 三折损 is good or no good. Now, with hexagram, there's no such thing as good or no good. Every situation is just a situation. How you make out of the situation is what define good or bad. Okay, Helen, you get that? So, for example, the wedding couple is giving away free dinner. Okay, is giving away free dinner. This is called 损. But in return, because of this law of, I call it reciprocity, in return, the wedding couple, okay, will get back ampao of almost equivalent amount. No written rule to say how much you must return, but there'll be unwritten rule to say that return almost equivalent amount. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this point here is that people will do almost anything that is asked of them by a perceived friends. Yeah, this is called the law of reciprocity, 因损得益. Because you give up free dinner and it's a wedding, therefore you get back ampao and good wishes. Ellen said, Master, lots of slides are missing from PDF. Lots of slides are missing from PDF. Of course, PDF will have lesser slides than these slides that you're seeing. Lah. If the other way around, then I'm concerned. Lah. Okay, so the law does not say that someone will automatically reciprocate when given something. It says that he will desire to give something back. So the key word here is desire. Okay, so what we are doing here when we are persuading people using the law of reciprocity, okay, I'm actually playing around with their desire to give something back. So Helen say, can see previous deck. This one. Okay. Let me know if you're done. Okay. Okay, so remember this, it is not 报价 sure will reciprocate, it is will desire to give something back. Give you an example. Let's say you are shopping for a new mobile phone, and then the salesperson shows your phone and tells you the price, but you're still not quite sure. Okay, it's just like, oh, I want to look around. I've just shown previous slide one. Again, this one, blue one, this one. Okay. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so let's say you're shopping for a new mobile phone. The person shows shows you the phone, and then you're not quite sure whether you should get it. Then the salesperson offers to add a phone case at no additional charge. You might feel that he's doing you a favor, which in turn might make you feel obligated to buy the phone. Now, this is a bit different from the buying the TV one, the extended warranty one. It's a bit different. Okay, why I say a little bit different is because the TV one, there's a very big contrast. Okay, very big contrast. Here may not have the big contrast, and here is the nudging part. Okay, the nudging part here means that you almost want to buy, but don't want to buy, don't want to buy. Then I push in with a favor to say that, hey, okay lah, I top it up with a phone case lah, or if you buy. All right, so it's like, wow, 这个人很好嘞, give me this phone case free one. So it make you feel like you want to reciprocate that kind of favor. Okay. So this is called law of reciprocity. So slightly different from the TV, the law of contrast. And another example here is engaging in that first reciprocal exchange can make it more likely that you will respond to other, often bigger requests in the future. And if you talk about stratagem, this can be a 抛砖引玉 stratagem. So for example, trainer will throw a free seminar, okay, and show you, say, you will learn in this seminar, you will learn 3 ways to make quick bucks, okay, or 3 ways to earn your first 10,000 in 3 weeks, for example, free seminar, okay. So you go and attend this free seminar thinking that there's something whole I want to learn. And in that seminar, when when you're in the seminar, they close all the door and then say that, okay, that's the 3 good to know tips. But if you want to know more, right, now we have an offer, right? So once you give people that free seminar, they probably will want to go and sign up for the bigger thing. Okay, so I call that foot in the door technique. That means I give you something first, 抛砖, so that I can draw out your jade. So this is called law of reciprocity. Now, how to maneuver this law? Okay, sometimes is really don't react lah. Okay, don't react. In the situation, you don't react. You give it some time. That means you respond, think through. Experts suggest that the urge to reciprocate is strongest immediately after the initial exchange. Okay, if you can wait, you probably feel less pressure to return the favor. Next is you evaluate the exchange. Is it worth, okay, the phone case versus you having to pull out $1,000 to buy the phone, things like that. So think about whether the favor measures up to the expected return. In many cases, the initial gift or favor is much smaller than the requested return favor. Okay, so this is law of reciprocity. Okay, that means I give you something, and after that you feel obliged or with the desire to return back the favor. Okay, so for example, some coaches may say that, free 15-minute coaching, or free 15-minute online coaching. So this is free. I give you a favor, free one. Then during the 15 minutes, I will try to persuade you, if you want to find out more how you can improve your life, become successful in your life, why don't you take up this coaching package, or 1999, okay, something like that. It become you felt that desire to return the favor because I give you free coaching. Anyone have any personal example to share regarding law of reciprocity? Okay. Everyone good here? Alan says some feng shui shop will do free or charge very low consultation. Very good, Alan. Okay, because they are giving in with a free thing, so you felt that desire to go and at least buy something in return. Thank you, Alan. Start to upsell your items. Very good. 抛砖引玉啦. Very good, very good. Everyone okay? Good here? Type good in the chat box if you are good. Then I move on. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Elaine. Okay, thank you, Alan. Okay, so now let's move on to the next law. I want to show you a video. Oh, did I download the video? Oh my God. Okay, I want to show you this video, and I want you to see this law at play, full out. Okay, and then you tell me what is that law running behind the scene. Okay, are you ready? This one complies straight away. Okay, this is an experiment, a true experiment done many years back. So I managed to get this video. So this is another law. This is the last law that I want to talk about. This is the law of conformity. Conformity, yeah. Okay, so it's called 和谐共生. Now, this law of conformity is also equally very powerful because unconsciously, if you don't conform, you feel very uncomfortable. You get my point? And once you feel uncomfortable, you are being torn to want to conform. So this is called law of conformity. So think back your most recent incident where you somehow you felt compelled to comply, and then you somehow get persuaded to just go along. Okay, so think back. So this comes from 水地比. 随地 basically, loosely translated, means most people tend to agree to proposals, suggestions, products, or services that will be perceived as acceptable by most other people or most of a peer group. Okay. Now, Helen said, can get out of the lift. Of course, can get out of the lift, right? If you feel uncomfortable, by all means, you can get out. But I'm just using lift as an ecosystem. Okay, this case study is actually using lift as an ecosystem whereby you are inside there, you can't get out. Then what do you do? Okay. Alan say herd mentality. Exactly. So law of conformity is actually herd mentality. Yeah. So here, the highlight here is this group of people make up about 85% of all people. That means people who can easily conform. Okay. People who are easily conform makes up 85% of all people. Now, with these statistics, don't you feel that it's very easy to persuade people? For example, if let's say you have a very big family, all using Singtel, for example, for your phone, phone connection using Singtel, and then only you use M1. If I'm a Singtel salesperson, okay, I can actually a lot of time, make it even easier to persuade you to switch to Singtel because all your family use Singtel, only you use M1. So you tend to want to comply. And I can easily persuade this 85% to comply to the bigger norms. Okay, so they are concerned, this 85% of the people, they are concerned about how others perceive them and want to be accepted. So they are actually looking for faces, to preserve their faces and not whether they are making the right choice or not. They just want to, looks as same, comply, and acceptable. Helen is asking if face the lift, how you know when to get out. Now, this is just an experiment to say that, if you face the lift, it's not the norm, but suddenly become the norm, will you go with the norm? This is what the experiment is all about. Okay, so most people are more worried about making a bad decision than expecting the benefit of a good decision. So remember, this 85% of the people are more worried about making a bad decision. Now, bad decision is not to comply. Okay, and you look uncomfortable. So therefore, knowing this law of conformity, salesperson, how they make use, is they need testimonial. Okay, they need testimonial to show buyers, say, you see, this credential body say that, wow, this is the best model out there, right now. Okay, or my services is so good. You look at all my other customer, or this course must attend, or this service must take, then your life will change forever, for the better. So you need some conformity. So that means, therefore, when you read this testimonial as a customer, you say, oh, wow, okay, so I'll comply. You get my point? So you can also use this law of conformity to good use because 85% falls into this category. Alan says stock market, how fund managers manipulate the stock market. Exactly, syndicate. Okay, syndication is the same. And most 85% of the investor, they are all following the wind. Everybody buy, they buy. Okay, everybody sell, they sell. That's why they can't win. Now, yet, because I say 85% of all of them are compliance one, there will be the remaining percentage, 15%. I call them the contrarian conformists. These are the what I call that, the other side of the same coin. Okay, they are also conformists, but they are the contrarian conformists. That means they will not go against the norm. They will stand on the other side, and then those who stand on the other side, they will conform to the other side norm. Okay, so it's called contrarian conformist. So be clear who you are targeting. Are you targeting the 85%, or are you targeting on the remaining, 15%? Okay, so these contrarian conformists make up about 10% of all people. They tend to rebel against current societal norms in relatively large group. So for example, recently, Okay, also about the vaccination. You know, MOH is trying to persuade everyone to go for vaccination, especially for children, right? So then there's this vaccine group, anti-vaccine group, who happen to be the 10% contrarian that go against the norm. They form their own group, and then they somehow manage other people or parents to join the group, to be persuaded to join the group, and then put up the anti-vaccine movement. Okay, and inciting parents to disrupt vaccination center operation. So for parents who are persuaded to go and disrupt the vaccination center operation, why are they persuaded? Why were they persuaded? Actually, I was quite amazed. Why would parents do that? Okay, but once you know this law, you know what happened. They happen to fall into the smaller portion, the 10% that makes up the contrarian conformists. Okay, because they are already by themselves anti-vaccine, and when they happen to find this anti-vaccine group, they will happily join the group and happily comply with what the group want to do. Okay, so remember, you can also use law of conformity to persuade people to do what you want them to do because they want to do it. So contrarians, conformists band together, they set themselves apart from the general population with their views. Then they set up their own set of rules or beliefs to follow, and thus end up being conformists within their groups. Now, in just about every aspect of life, people will conform to norms for acceptance. I mean, this is human nature. Okay, so because of this, persuading people using strategies relating to the law of conformity is very easy and effective. Can you name some examples, personal examples that you can relate it back to law of conformities? Fashion. Thank you. Fashion. Yes, exactly. Fashion. Everybody at one point in time, in my times, everybody wear those jeans. I know now even also today, people wear jeans, but there was a period where everything is jean, blue jean, black jean, white jean, or denim jean, don't know what kind of jean, fashion. And then at one point in time, everybody wear cap and hat, and I don't know what is that lah. Okay, and then mini skirt, fashion. They want to comply. As long as you want to be branded as young and stylish, you have to follow the fashion. Okay, so they don't need much persuasion to spend money on those fashionable clothing. No need much persuasion. They will be persuaded because they want to conform. Is that okay? Any other example? YouTube streaming. Okay, YouTube streaming. Very good. All right, so I've covered all the 9 laws. Are you all lost already with these 9 laws? Bubble tea, thank you very much. Okay, bubble tea is also one of the fashion. I'm not sure anyone lost with the 9 laws. Okay, but to recap, these are the 9 yin yang laws of possession that we have covered today. Like I say, there are many, many laws of possession. Some are small laws, some are bigger laws, and things like that. But I find that these 9 laws, no matter what kind of possession, they still show up somehow. So therefore, in this workshop, I talk about them. And you can study this 9 law, observe other people, or observe how you persuade other people, or observe how you're being persuaded, and you see which of these 9 law comes into play. Let me repeat. Okay, law of contrast, law of scarcity, law of power, law of association, law of expectation, law of friends, law of consistency, law of reciprocity, and last but not least, law of conformity. Any questions so far? Helen say, can we have part 2 yin yang law of persuasion workshop? Whoa. Okay. Wow. Helen is asking for part 2 of yin yang law of persuasion. What would you like to learn in part 2 of yin yang law of persuasion workshop? Now, note, I've some ending notes for you. Okay, some ending note for you. Now, the master persuaders wants you to be predictable. For me, I also want you to be predictable. I want my student and my client to be predictable. It's the same with everyone else. Parent too. They want their children to be predictable. Why so? Okay, here's why. When you become predictable, those who understand the persuasion process and the laws will apply it with ease to reach their objectives. Remember this, huh? Once you become predictable, those who understand the persuasion process will apply it with ease to reach their objective. That's why in AOM3, one of the key points that I mentioned in AOM3 is that you don't show your intention that easily. Your intention is always the last one to show. Okay, that is why. Okay, that is why, because the moment you become predictable, people around you can use that predictability to manipulate you. Okay, so when a group of people wants to change your way of thinking to its way of thinking without consideration of a value or belief, this, in my opinion, this is called brainwashing. Okay, so I don't care what is your value, what is your belief. I just want you to change you to my way of belief. To me, I think this is brainwashing already, huh? So that's why I always tell you, don't believe a thing I say. It's only when you try it for yourself, you're convinced, then you can go ahead, believe it. So I want you to be comfortable with this power that you have right now. These 9 laws of persuasion, 9 yin yang laws of persuasion. Okay, so that you can get things done and free up other people's time. So ding dong, I persuade you, you persuade me. In the end, nobody get the better of each other. One shot, one kill lah. Go in, persuade, get it done. Okay, everybody okay with what has been agreed upon and move on. Okay, so this is what the true aim of this workshop that I have for you as a student of these 9 yin yang laws of persuasion. Any quick questions so far? So Helen said those that you can't share today. Actually, I've shared almost everything that I've prepared lah. Any quick question? If not, let me move on. Let me move on to say examples. Okay, this one examples. Before we end today's lesson, some quick case studies examples. You all can stay with me, right? Type yes if you can stay with me. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you, Helen. Okay, thank you, Fiona. Now, the best way to learn this now at 9 law of persuasion, like I've said many times, you look at the day-to-day occurrences, day-to-day situation, incidences, and all those social media showing up in the social media, news, TV, things like that. And then look behind the scenes, say that, hey, what law comes into play? Now, recently, isn't there an event to say that Omega and Swatch, they're selling this limited, is it limited edition? I don't know. I don't think it's limited edition. This watch, Omega X Swatch. I don't know what you called it. During COVID. Okay. Now, my question I ask myself is, why are people persuaded to queue like madness like that? Okay, even during COVID, just for this watch. Why? Okay, why they do what they do? Okay, what persuaded them? So basically, meaning I'm asking this question, meaning I want to know which law or a bundle of laws come into play, right? So let us go deep into the background. I pull out all the key points, the key facts about the situation, and then you look on the right. The right side is the 9 law of persuasion that I have talked about throughout. Okay, I want you to type in the chat box which law do you think come into play. Now let me read out the background. The collection, naming the watch, comprises 11 models at $372 each. Okay, so that's now the watch I show you. 11 models, each one priced $372. Okay, so offers an entry point into owning an Omega Speedmaster Moon watch. Oh, so it is called Moon watch, Okay, which has a price tag of at least 9,000. Oh, okay. So if a normal Omega Speedmaster Moon watch, the price is about 9K. Now, this entry point watch is now selling at 372. It's an entry point watch. So Swatch did not say that the collection will be limited or one-off. Okay, he did not say it's limited or one-off or time limited, whatever. So one of the customers say that it's exciting to be one of the first to lay hands on this unique collaboration. Okay, and the other say, honestly, the watch feels super, super, super cheap. A customer in Hong Kong said. Now, what do you think? Which law or bundle of laws or persuasion come into play? Type in the chat box. Helen said law of association, expectation, conformity. Okay. Any more? Philip said contrast. Very good. Very good. Contrast. Okay. Helen said law of scarcity. Okay. So be mindful. Swatch did not say this is limited. Swatch did not say this is one-off offer. So the scarcity has been played down a little bit. Now, I'm sure if Swatch say it's limited or one-off, I think the queue will be even madder than what it was. Okay. Fiona say law of association. Very good. Okay, so I agree that law of association, because you want to be associated with owning an Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch, albeit entry point. Okay, so you want to be seen to be associated with wearing an Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch. I agree, law of association. Now I also agree law of expectation. In a sense, this law of expectation can also tie in with a little bit of law of scarcity mentioned by Helen. Okay, why? It's because you can expect there will be a long queue. Okay, you can expect there will be a long queue, and you can expect that because you want to be seen associating, that because of the long queue, it may run out of stock for that day, and because the FOMO comes in, the law of scarcity comes in, therefore you will be persuaded to want to join in the madness. Okay, so I do agree, law of expectation. We expect the queue to be long. You expect it could be out of stock for that day or for a few days until new stock comes in, which you cannot afford to wait. Therefore, the law of scarcity comes in. Okay, law of contrast. Very good, Andy. Thank you. Law of contrast. The original 9,000. Now the entry point. Wow, so much cheaper. 372 only. Comes in already. Alan said law of friends. When people start to spread the news behind the scene, very good. Okay, very good. Law of friends. Philip say there was an implied scarcity, as I believe one influencer briefly mentioned that at such a low price, it could not last long. I believe so. Yes, because there's an expectation there. It's expected that it could be a long queue. People will grab. For that moment, no stock. Law of conformity. Law of conformity, I'm not too sure. Maybe you want to substantiate law of conformity. So can you see one situation there could be many law coming in, and lai chi chi again these 9 laws. You get my point? Okay, yeah. A sense of belonging. Okay, sense of belonging is more like association. You want to be associated with Omega. Okay, Omega. Okay, next. Let's move on. Very good. Okay, you are there already. You're there. You are able to see beyond the scene, pull out the relevant law of persuasion. Very good. So let's move on to the next one. This is another scenario. What happened was that this was April 2022, pretty recent, April 2022. This lady jailed for women who unlawfully withdraw cash from senior citizens' account while working as befriender. I think befriender is a scheme by income, is it? If I'm not wrong, income. Supposedly, this scheme is to befriend senior citizens to help them with their daily lives, certain chores, uh, whatever lah, to help them with their life lah. So this befriender, this lady, abused that privilege and withdraw cash from the senior citizen bank account, not only once but multiple times. So all in all, she made 26 unauthorized withdrawal, more than 18K between March 3rd to September 30, 2021. Now, question here, how was that senior citizen, that means the victim, got persuaded to pass the ATM card to the lady? It must happen this way, right? Otherwise, how would the befriender had gain possession of the ATM card and do the withdrawal? Okay, let's look at the facts of the case. So again, on the right side are the 9 laws of persuasion. So you pull out the relevant which you think is attributable to this scenario. Let me read out the background while you type in the chat box. Social enterprise NTUC, or so it's by NTUC, not by income, sorry. Social enterprise NTUC Health employed her as a befriender in mid 2019. Okay, so she was employed as a befriender. As part of her job, she visited 5 senior citizens on a weekly basis. So that's her job. So during the visit, she would assess and record the senior citizen mood, living condition, medication management, signs of worsening condition, as well as any other requests raised or required by the senior citizen. So this particular senior citizen asked for her help to buy some medicine from a pharmacy and handed her a bank card. Oh, okay. Right. So on each occasion, she would ask the senior citizen for her ATM card and PIN under the pretense that she would assist the victim to find out if the government payout had been credited to her bank account. So made 26 unauthorized withdrawal more than 18K between this period, 3rd March to 30th September 2021. Okay, so type in the chat box, what do you think are the laws of persuasion in play? And they say law of power. Good, law of power, because she can show her past, say, I am a befriender, authorized by NTUC Health to be here today to help you. Okay, Helen say law of power, law of friends. Very good. So it evolved. It evolved. The power evolved from law of power initially to become law of friends. So after a while, become friends. I can help you to do all the chores, including withdrawing money. Okay, and law of expectation. Very good, because she has that power bestowed by the NTUC Health. So senior citizen, I think, got no reason to doubt her sincerity and her genuinity in it's okay to pass her the ATM card. Very good. Okay. And then Yiling said law of friends, very good. So before the law of friends the law of friends comes in, the law of power comes in first. Yiling, is that okay? Law of power comes in first before being evolved into the law of friends. Okay, Andrew say law of association. Law of association. Could you elaborate, Andrew? Fiona said law of power, friend, expectation, association. Okay. Now, there's one more thing. Law of consistency. Very powerful. Law of consistency. This is what most people will fall into this trap also. Law of consistency. Okay. Where is it? Law of consistency. Is that this befriender make a withdrawal for the very first time without any problem. Okay, so there's already a precedent. Okay, there's already a precedent, right? So when there's a precedent and you want to invoke the same thing again, it is so much easier. Okay, so it's so much easier. So therefore, you can make second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, no problem, because they are already friends. Okay, and there's already a consistent practice already. All right, so I would say what makes this work is actually law of power, law of friends, and then followed by law of consistency. Helen say, why got law of association? She from NTUC Healthcare, so can be trusted. So that could be law of power. Where else? Did I miss out anything? Helen said the watch. How should the Omega Swatch staff cool the crowd that refuse to go, although no more stock and refuse to leave? They will go lah. Close the door, close the gate, sure will go. Andrew say associate with NTUC income and also associate to elderly at personal level. Oh, okay. Then I can accept this answer. NTUC Health. That means being seen as associating with NTUC Health. Okay, good. So can you see, a lot of time successful persuasion comes in not only by one law. It usually will be by a bundle of law, and then sometimes it could be a series. A series means one after another. one evolve from power to friends to consistency, and then keep on using consistency until being discovered. You get my point? Okay. Next, maybe make this the last one. Okay, make this the last one. I think time is running out. Third scenario, 2.7 million lost to scammers pretending to be friends since start of year. Oops, ignore the highlighted one. Make 26 authorized. Ignore that one. Okay. Now, this happened also pretty recently, 12 May. This reported on 12 May. So, my question is, how did the victim lose so much money in total? Okay, so let's look at the fact sheet. Same thing on the right are all the 9 laws, so pick them up. So the background is like that. I read out, you listen, then you type in the chat box. Victims of these scams who receive phone calls from unknown numbers with the plus prefix. So you don't know, because plus prefix means unknown caller. So when you answer, when the victim answer, the caller would not immediately identify themselves. They mean they will not tell, say, oh, 我是谁, 我是谁. No, they will not identify themselves and instead ask the victim to guess who they were. Okay, to guess the identity of the caller with questions such as 猜我是谁? Okay, 你记得我吗? Okay, you can't remember me, that kind of thing. All right. So the victim, thinking that they were acquaintance, the victim would answer with the name of a friend who they thought most resembled the caller's voice. All right. So the victim created a reality in their own mind. They thought that this is the friend. So after that, once they established that relationship already, that they are friend, they would then ask the victim to update their number in the contact list and call a few days later to ask for loan to help them with their financial difficulties or trouble with the law. And because they are friend, so the victim agreed to transfer money. So in total, 2.7 mil being transferred like that. Okay. Now, what are the laws at play here? Type in the chat box. Okay, Helen said there was an ugly video, or is it, on the crowd urging and refuse to leave, and some demand compensation and hope to be informed when new stock arrive. Okay, so what's your question again? How should what the staff cool the crowd that refuse to go? No more stock, refuse to leave. You remember the Hello Kitty McDonald one? Yeah, same thing, right? Or the NDP ticket one, same thing, right? It's all about, same thing, all same law at play, right? So look at how other people handle this kind of case, how NDP handle now, the committee, how they handle. Oh, okay. You do some research on what the NDP committee do with claiming the NDP tickets. Okay, so to this case study about this 2.7 mil, Alan say expectation. Okay, expect the caller is someone he or she know. Very good. Very good. Any more? Is this case more difficult? Not so, it's the same. First of all, play around with the law of expectation. Okay. Like for example, guess who I am? You can't remember me, man. Things like that. Expectation. Okay. So, Helen say law of friends and law of reciprocity. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Yes, law of friends. After that, once the victim, find the best match friends, they become law of friends comes in already. They become friend automatically. Okay, and then the scammer also did something pretty neat. Is that, you please save my number. This is my new number. This is called foot in the door technique. Okay, foot in the door technique. After that, once you become friend already, then the asking for money comes in already. Yeah. Okay, so the two main law for this case, I would say law of expectation and law of friends. Oh, is that okay? So are you able to look behind the scene, behind all the scams activity? Once you know these 9 laws, there are many laws, but these 9 laws 怎么玩都是这个 9 laws. Are y'all good? Okay. So I will end off today's lesson, this workshop, with this case study. So can I ask you to type in the chat box one quick liner? What have you learned today that you can bring forward in your life? Okay, you can continue typing. If you're not done, no worries. Ellen say, be clear of what you want, and when in doubt, walk away. There's always another deal. Law of abundance. Thank you very much. Thank you for bringing in another law. It's not part of persuasion, but it's another law that is all around us, which is called the law of abundance. Thank you very much. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. I hope you've enjoyed this workshop. Now, there's this program coming up, and this is a further extension to persuasion. If you want to really learn about persuasion, it's called the Ultimate Easing Persuasion. It's coming up in October, 3 lessons, right? 15, 16, and 22, 22nd October, coming up in October. So if you're keen, you have not signed up, please sign up, by scanning the QR code. For refresher, let me know if you want to come back for this refresher. Yeah. Okay. So that's about it. And next week, okay, this month workshop, next week there will be this focus workshop and then the essential oil with the 7 chakras workshop. So that is next weekend. So for those who have signed up, please remember, block a calendar for these 2 workshops. Yeah. Okay. So last but not least, I have typed in the feedback form link in the chat box. So can you, before you shut down your browser and or your phone, go to this link, please give me your feedback on this workshop so that I can improve it further. And after that, you'll be redirected to the Fresh Deal Corner where you're gonna do all your sign up. You can go there. Now, once the video is being processed, you'll be uploaded to the training portal and I'll keep you informed. You can log in to watch again. Okay, so next year, if I run this program, feel free to come back for refresher. Now, Fiona say, hope to relate more daily events with all these 9 laws. Very interesting to be able to see so many things. Yes. Okay, so next year, probably I'll put in even more, what I call that, real life cases, so that you can see how the law come into play. Meanwhile, you can also do that at your end. Look at all the very interesting case, and then try to relate back. If you come across interesting cases, like the scam, like the 3 examples that I show you, feel free to let me know so that I can compile them for next year workshop. Is that okay? All right. So that's all from me. I hope you have enjoyed this workshop as much as I do and start using it to your benefits. So yeah, that's about all. And if you have signed up for next week courses, I'll see you back next week. Okay, so have a good rest and have a good week ahead. Thank you very much. Bye bye.